Hello, hello. Welcome to the Five Talents Podcast. I'm your host, Abel Pacheco. I interview the top commercial real estate investors and industry experts so you can learn from their experiences. So if you're an investor, a high W-2 earner, or real estate or tech sales professional that wants to invest in real estate without having to manage properties or leave your day job, then this podcast is for you. Or if you're already investing in real estate, but you're doing it part-time and you want to become a full-time multifamily or full-time commercial real estate investor, this podcast is for you too. You're going to learn a ton. You will learn from real-life multifamily investors and other professionals in the industry. They're going to share their blueprints for success, and I'm super excited that you're here. So I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, hello. This is Abel Pacheco, your host for the Five Talents Podcast. We are super excited today. And I know I say that often, but I am genuinely super excited today because we have just some more amazing individuals, more really great people genuinely that want to help others, want to help people on their education to financial freedom, to creating a path to, creating wealth for themselves and their families. Monika, Jazyk, and Lucy Moy, thank you very much for joining. How are you all?
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks so much awesome. For having us on.
I really appreciate it, both of you, for different reasons and also the same. So let me at least give our listeners and viewers a little bit of background. So, we kind of have an idea of who Monika is and who Lucy is and why I think you should be right now you should have a pen and a piece of paper because they are going to drop some amazing gems and really good nuggets for you guys to learn. So I know Monika Vaughn, you've been in real estate models, you've done single family, multifamily, raised capital. You've done this around raising your 4 children and the co-owner of Real Property Investments. So it's an educational platform. It's an advisory firm that helps people build real wealth through real estate. And I know you're passionate about helping people. You're passionate about creating wealth, which is really, really cool. So I'd love you to introduce yourself in just a minute. But I also have Lucy Moy, which Lucy was the person who introduced me to Monika. I know Lucy from our education program. So you're listening, you've heard me say I've gone to like 5 or 6 programs and traveled to a bunch of different cities all over the country and spent thousands and thousands of dollars kind of doing so to get this education. Lucy did the same thing, like 6 figures in coaching, mentoring. And one of the great things about that is I get to meet amazing people like Monika and Lucy. And Lucy is a second-gen realtor, longtime real estate investor, busy mom as well. And she was, just nice enough to kind of put everything together for us today. So Lucy and Monika, thank you very much. Let me turn it over to you for a moment. Just give us your introduction in your own words. Tell us who you are and what you do, and we'll just start a great conversation.
Thank you so much, Abel. I'm so glad that we could put this all together and to be on a great podcast like Five Talents. It's really amazing to see the evolution when we first met a while back and seeing how much you've grown as an investor as well as your company. So it's really an honor to be here with Monika. So just a little bit of background. I mean, I think you kind of, said most of the stuff. I'm a busy mom of 2. A longtime real estate investor, grew up in Toronto, then moved down to New York as a private banker. One of the things that I realized working there and advising my clients on traditional investing products was that my most successful clients were actually not investing the traditional way, but they were actually making most of their majority of their money from real estate and owning their own businesses. So a light bulb had gone off, and that's when I decided to start investing and learning about real estate. So on that journey, I've met some incredible entrepreneurs like yourself, and I'm super excited to be able to take some of those things that I've learned and be able to share with so many new investors as well as seasoned investors, and really growing a community alongside Monika, Jazyk at Real Property Investments. So thank you so much for having us here, and hopefully we can continue to all grow together. So yeah. Monika?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, well, thank you. That was very well said, Lucy. And thank you, Abel, for having me and Lucy on the show today. We are so excited to be here and to talk to your audience, about what it is you do and how amazing the opportunities you provide are, as well as, ways that people can, invest in real estate, both actively and passively.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that you met Lucy in the six-figure coaching and dropping in coaching. I too, yes, that's how we started as well.
You dropped a good bit of coin on education yourself, huh?
You know what it was is we dropped a lot of coin on the education, and that really set us forth on our journey. Not because we learned so much, but because we learned too much. The information we received was fantastic, but that is what led us to doing too much too soon, because we had that pressure of full-time real estate investors. And we were doing hundreds of transactions. And when you kind of went through with what I've done personally, alongside my husband who runs the business with me, this all started off as actual investors because of that pressure. And I'm very grateful for that. It did lead to a lot of mistakes, hence our book, Real Estate Mistakes. But in the same time, it also made us excellent consultants because now we have experience in all of those different types of investment strategies. But our true success was not achieved until we stopped and focused on one strategy at a time.
Yeah.
So we kind of went into a all and then had to really go into a nothing and minimize and then regroup. But each one of those strategies that we did do, I find, really, really lucrative, and they can help different people in different ways. But people really need to realize you don't have to be a full real estate investor to invest in real estate, which is why I love what you do, because you're so focused on a very intensive type of project where you have to only be doing that. And people like us get to benefit from that without having to do it, which is great.
Yeah, I love the passive model. And, me and Lucy were taking this education courses, and exactly like you had mentioned, there's a vast array of all of these different courses and classes, and creative financing and wholesaling and these strategies. And then there's land, and then there's, there's commercial, there is multifamily, there's syndications. And, I met a lot of people that tried to do it all and failed, across the board, because they didn't have, the expertise or the experience to do one thing really well. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people that can do a bunch of things at one time, but I have a feeling they got really good at one and then jump to another if they're doing it successfully. And so that was the conversation with me and Lucy, and we were talking about multifamily. We met there at a conference, and then, we're partners on a 268 unit property. I love it, and a big deal. And, Lucy, we had a good conversation. We talked about the real estate. She wanted to be invested. She's doing so many other things professional, and, now you have a good, decent, return coming in, and it's, passive investment. So I love those models. So
well, can I say one thing though? Sometimes I do feel guilty, Abel, because after having tried things like fix and flips, wholesaling, BRRRRs, even trying to build Airbnb container homes in California, I actually feel really guilty and bad because it feels like I'm being so lazy. When I'm investing in your projects, because I really do absolutely nothing at all, except for, oh, look, I just got a distribution. That's awesome. So I actually feel like I'm not doing anything. So I feel like, I actually feel like it's wrong to receive that. But I know that's
good. You're good. You played a part, and that part is equity owner. And we wouldn't have been able, for those that, are on our show, you probably have some idea of multifamily syndication, but maybe somebody that's listening from Monika or Lucy's audience or mine from Facebook, and you see me doing this real estate investing thing, but you're not quite sure like what we do. We buy apartment buildings, we buy apartment complexes, and these deals are pretty big. Like, let's just say, nice round numbers, there's a $10 million deal, 100 units, plus, and the bank lends us $8 million, which is pretty crazy in of itself. unfortunately, you can't start many businesses where the banks are going to give you 80% of the cash to do it, but they do, because it's a fantastic asset and a great vehicle for their returns. But we still need to raise $2 million, $2 million for the loan, $1 million maybe for the renovation. And if you've been following me and you think I'm like a crazy billionaire kind of guy, I'm definitely not. I don't have $3 million to go buy a property cash. So what we do is we pull resources together and we leverage the bank's other people's money, and then we put in an equity portion, and we're all equity owners. And $50,000 investment, we can invest in apartment complexes, and there may be 30, 40 partners, and we all put together, and that's our $2-3 million bucks. So anyways, that's kind of the multifamily syndication and what we do. And so I was excited to meet you. And then so Monika, I'm super excited to talk about everything that you're doing, because I always say your network is your net worth, and I am introduced to amazing people. And Lucy was blessed me with the introduction to you and your program. So let's really talk about that, if we could. A couple other questions before you talk about the education, the platform that you have created, which is amazing. How many years did you invest on your own, you and your husband? How many years did that occur? And then how long have you been doing the education part of it with real property investments and the education side? And that'd be a great jumping point.
Excellent. Okay. So my husband and I have invested in real estate for over 11 years. And we kind of started out, like other people, knowing we needed to do something different. We had no support and we had no network. You said the network is your net worth, and we didn't have any. I mean, we have a lot of high net worth people, but they're doing things the traditional way, all professionals, lawyers, doctors, accountants, and we didn't decide to take that approach. We wanted to do more than just our jobs. I actually wanted to be home with kids and be a stay-at-home mom. So my husband was out working, he had a great job, and I was trying to figure out, our finances and how to grow the money that we do have, so we can, be responsible and have savings goals and retire and help our kids out with college. And it wasn't working. So we figured out real estate investing is a solution to this problem. I could stay at home, I can create that income, and I can have these solutions to send our kids to college, and as well as to be able to retire. Like, so selfish of me, right? I mean, to want to retire and help your kids out,
Yeah.
So there was no like real multi-millionaire goals here. It's just like realizing the fact that people today do need to learn to make more money. So we were all on our own, and we just had to go for it. And it was a huge trial and error process. We actually went through 4 properties before even investing in any of these expensive courses. And it was a huge learning curve on our own. We did a lot right and we did a lot wrong. And then we did the big investment into the education. We're introduced to this whole new world of strategies we knew nothing about, got overexcited, and then over deployed. And we also realized we needed to meet more people, because I am not the kind of person to go into my own network. I wasn't even able to tell my parents what I was doing, or my family, because they are the naysayers. And I think a lot of people have naysayers or people in your circle that don't understand. And you really need to have a strong mindset of be confident and believe in what you're doing. You don't need people to knock you down. It really can. It happened when Vaughn and I were in our early 20s. We had a really great investment opportunity. I told my parents about it, and they talked me out of it. And it cost me a lot of money. So I never forgot that pain. So I didn't tell anyone, but we needed to meet more people. And there was no networking groups, Abel, like nothing. There was one very established club about 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
We had very small kids. I think I was even, I had a very small baby and 2 others. I have 4 now, but this is when we were just starting out.
Congratulations.
So
what are their
the
ages?
Funny part is, rather than driving now? 45 minutes, almost 17, 15, 10, he'll be 11 next month. And my 8-year-old girl, we finally got the girl, will be turning 9 in March.
Sorry to interrupt.
So this all started, some of these kids didn't even exist when we started. So it was so funny, but we needed to do this for them. I wanted to be with them And we really wanted to build this wealth for them. And I see you have beautiful young children, and Lucy's children are a little older. And I just want you guys to know it's okay. It's amazing, and it gets better and easier, but busier too at the same time. So, but I mean, kids are everything. I think we're all really family oriented here.
And I forgive me because there's a little bit of lag. Sorry, there's a little lag, but go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So I think what we were talking about there was, you know, I had the information, like we wanted to go forward and do this with them, but we didn't have any people that we knew. So what do? We're like, let's go up on Meetup and do a free gathering just so we could literally meet people. And all of a sudden, all these people met in our local area, and we're like, holy smokes, did we do this? We couldn't believe it. Who are all these people that want to learn about investing in real estate? We weren't even teaching them anything. We were just meeting with them to get this network going. And we continued. I was actually, you know, expecting a child. I'm out to hear. We were continuing to meet all these people. And then all of a sudden, presenters started coming to us. And they're like, hey, can we present? I'm like, well, if we present, then we're going to need to get a space, you know, and I didn't know we were the presenting kind of group. We want to meet like-minded people and have that support. And then it turned into, you know, a very casual venue, and then with a small fee. And then over the years, you know, as we transitioned through our model and we became more sophisticated investors and had all these experts contacting us, we became the go-to point and really established a really strong network. We grew our money with that network. And all I did after that was tell people about what I did, just like Lucy's here, telling people her experience of investing with you and what that's been like and how successful that's been. At Real Property Investments, my husband built our wealth through identifying the highest, like most reputable investment opportunities and investment models, working with experts that help guide us along the way, and literally just shared them with our network. And because of that, we created that freedom in our lives. Now we've helped thousands of others just by utilizing our network get freedom in their lives. If Monica and Vaughn can do it, anyone can do it.
I think the same. Like if I can do it and get invested in, you know, 900 plus doors and multifamily, passive and active, you know, when I combine those two, and it's like $100 million of real estate, I go, golly, I'm a simpleton at the base of it. I, you know, work hard, I'm persistent, dedicated, you know, I have a lot of grit to follow through all that stuff, but I'm definitely not like, you know, the rocket science kind of guy. And what I find is like, the more you network with other individuals, other experts, other individuals. What I did in my professional career to have a lot of success was I tried to hire people that were better than me and put them as close as I possibly could around me. And all of those individuals had a ton of success. And I was the guy that brought them on the team, and I had success. We all had success together. So I kind of applied the same to commercial real estate. It's a team sport. And if I can have really great people like you all around me, then I will do better as well. So Lucy, Monica, thank you. Hello. You're listening to the 5 Talents Podcast. I'm your host, Abel Pacheco. If you're enjoying this podcast, then I know you're serious about achieving financial freedom. Are you ready to create your own path through multifamily investing for yourself and your family? Then I know you're going to appreciate our Investor's Guide to Multifamily Investing. It's titled Tackling Commercial Real Estate the Easy Way. We use this guide to invest ourselves in $93 million worth of real estate. So we're going to show you the basic mechanics of multifamily syndications and how to evaluate your next passive investment opportunity. So the best part, if you subscribe to our podcast now, leave us a review and a rating. I'm going to give you a free copy of our ebook. So please take a moment to do that now. Once you've done that, go to 5tcre.com/ebook, 5tcre.com/ebook. Make sure to let us know you left a review, and we're going to send you a free copy. So thank you so much for subscribing to the 5 Talents Podcast. We really appreciate it. So yeah, so that evolved to networking, and then it became, you have other people that are experts and pros and people you've invested with and appreciated. And you're just basically shared and opened your network up with other investors that wanted to learn what you were doing. And so what does it evolve to today? Like tell me about today. Cause it's pretty cool. Everything that you guys are doing is amazing.
Well, that free little random group
Mm-hmm.
evolved into a very established club in our home base, which then evolved to 5 established clubs across our province, because I am Canadian, which then evolved to across Canada. So now we have all across, and now thanks to Lucy, we are all across the United States. And so Lucy is our U.S. Consultant, as she lives in the U.S.
She's international.
And all we do together is, she has to talk to me a lot. I hope you don't mind, Lucy. But we identify the absolute best investment opportunities, both active and passive, that American people can participate in without having to become full-time investors. Now, we can help people become full-time investors and create their real estate business if they want to do that. I mean, Lucy has a very lucrative real estate business, also not only as a real estate agent in Atlanta, but also as a very strong investment model, which she takes on joint venture partners for as well. But we do this for other people who want to build in areas that we may not even be in. We'll show them the education components about how you might want to create this, but mainly for the American people who have these goals. We show them how to make more money, how to grow their money. Self-directing is huge. I mean, a lot of people don't know that you don't have to grow your retirement funds and your education funds and your savings components in the banks, that there's amazing investment opportunities like yours, Abel, that people can participate in. But just because of some little nuances, and it's just a little bit of information, it stops them. We often say a confused mind doesn't act. And a lot of our clients are in high expensive areas. Like I live in Toronto, which is an expensive area. A lot of our American clients are right in LA. They're right in New York, New York City. They're in these expensive markets. They want to do something different, but they don't see that potential there because it may be, so expensive where they live. And I remember I was stuck in that point that you have to grow your money with the banks, and you have to grow your money in the property next door. That's why we identify these high growth areas and really build these boots on the ground teams with experts like yourself, with expert agents like Lucy, that are able to take people and really show them, what does this investment opportunity look like? And is this for you? Yeah. So then people can actually live in New York City and be invested in your apartment building projects. Yeah. And they truly understand how it works. I think knowledge is key. And the more people understand things, the more likely they are to do them.
Can I just add one more thing, though? As the U.S. facilitator for RPI, one of the things that was very important to me in terms of the group, in terms of contributing to the group, just because I've used to have a lot of shiny object syndrome, shiny strategy syndrome, in trying out many different investment providers, what I found is that you're going to encounter some companies that, I mean, for lack of a better word, they may not be operating at a level that has any integrity. So the people that we've actually brought together at RPI down in the US, the areas that I'm working in, are specifically individuals that we've personally vetted and work very closely with, because, too often times you hear of a lot of scams and things that are going on. And we're really looking to work with experts that are doing it at an optimal level. And they're not people that are just, the seminar types that are out there and, teaching a lot of outdated strategies and things like that, but real experts that are actually actively working in the business and doing it so successfully. So Abel, obviously with you, one of the things that I would share with your audience is that, the way that you've actually worked with myself as well as my family members, specifically my mother-in-law. I mean, she can't wait to get involved with the next opportunity just because it's been such a wonderful experience. And that's something that we're really trying to recreate for our investors and our members, so that they can be able to take advantage of all the great opportunities that are out there without necessarily having to go through that learning curve, as well as, some of the things that people encounter, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. So you touched on a number of things, but starting, there backwards, I always tell our investors, and this is anybody that's new to passive investing via syndication, the way we do it, or any other model. As you're a passive investor, you have a job, and that there's three things you need to do. So if you're listening, you need to vet the team, the deal, and the market. And if you get really good at vetting the market, vetting the deal, most importantly the team, and find out their background, their track record, how they've done it, maybe referrals or past investors, just people that they know, you'll find that the team is really the most important part of this. And if the market falls in place and so does the deal, then we're going to have success. Now, business and real estate investing, we know it does not always go the way we want it to, but you want to be with a team that when things happen, because they always do, when things happen, are they going to see this thing through, and are they going to work their tail off to be good financial stewards for their investors? And so having a network of vetted, trusted people to invest with at least curbs that, that risk of, are they going to run away with my money? Or do I know they're going to actually buy property the way they said they're going to do it? Right. So that helps a ton. And then I like what you also mentioned, the knowledge is power. Right. And I don't know if it was a Monica or Lucy, but I wrote it down. I got knowledge is power. And then I have a mentor and a coach, and he says, not knowledge is power, but knowledge, implemented will change your life. And that's the difference. Is I learned something, I get the education. So many people in our programs, like the ones that I took, the ones that me and Lucy we were there in front of the class or taking notes and all that kind of thing. A lot of people just don't take action. They don't invest, and so it never happens. And then they spend money for education. It becomes entertainment. And I don't ever change this financial situation. So those are all great points. And I like Monica, you said make more money, grow more money, help them redirect some of their qualified retirement plans. The first deal that I got into, I did not know before, my partner told me, hey, you can invest with your 401k. You can move it to a self-directed IRA. If it's, freed up, if it's not tied down with your current job, move it over and you can direct that into a deal. And that was our first 128 unit apartment complex as a passive investor. So anyways, all great points. I just want to circle up on those.
Well, when we were doing things the traditional way, I was really putting finances at the forefront, and I was really trying to do our kids' education fund and our retirement fund with all of my husband's company group matching, and we're setting aside 10%. I don't know how the heck we were getting 10% to set aside, but we were doing, and we were setting up education funds, and we really thought we were doing the right thing, but I really call that the set it and forget it approach. And I always joke and say, I'm not a mathematician, but I knew a negative on the returns was probably not a good thing.
Yeah.
And when I did see my husband and our retirement fund projected return at $40,000, this is what we're going to, and this was hard-earned money that we were setting aside every month. That money wasn't easy for us to do that. And it's still eking out because we were just doing the mutual fund approach. It wasn't, with a sophisticated advisor, and it certainly wasn't in real estate and those different products. So we always had that impression that we didn't have money to invest. So anyone who's out there who thinks I don't have money to invest, your 401k contributions or any extra cash or sort of those registered accounts is a great place to start with and start to look with. Like when my husband actually was able, because of real estate investing, was able to leave his full-time job at the age of 40 on his 40th birthday, he marched in and quit. And he's with me full-time running the business. And, he was able to take that money that was allocated into that group fund and self-direct it. And we are in self-directed investment products all across the nation. I have self-storage, I have land, I have crop rotations, I have car washes, I have apartment buildings, plazas. There's all different types of opportunities that people can invest in. Now, I love your model too with the multifamily real estate. A lot of people with real estate investments, it's such a great wealth builder, but in the cash flow component, it could be slower unless you're doing multifamily. Now, when you're doing 250 units, woof, these are cash cows, people. But do you have what it takes to manage a 250 unit building? Do you have what it takes to manage a 5-unit building? Even 1 unit is difficult. So people say real estate's passive, and it is not passive, it's active. The income's classified as passive from a tax perspective, but the acquisition and management it's active. It's just active as it is. And so for someone to own and operate a 250 plus, unit, even over 5 units, that is a task on its own. I have a lot of multifamily real estate where I'm actually the landlord and owner too. And one of my favorite pastimes now is selling it and investing in projects like yours. So I can have more of that leisure time, with the kids. And I'm still getting a comparable return on investment, because everyone needs to ask themselves, what is your number one asset? Is your time. And rather than being a full-time landlord to multifamily residential, I'm now able to do my real job in life, which is tennis player and basketball cheer.
Nice.
And while I'm doing those, my money's working for me. So that's the true meaning of wealth building, is how much money are you making when you're sleeping or not working?
Yep. I love the Warren Buffett quote. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die.
We say that in every presentation.
Whew, I'm like, I don't want to work till I die. I love working. I actually love working. I don't want to do it till I die. That's for sure. I want to have a different type of mindset. I want to, be able to say, one of my properties sold. I have a capital event. I have some money in my wallet. I need to go invest it wisely for a continuous wealth building creation. And that's what I would love to have as a full-time job. And that's kind of why we started this. So that's the difference. So those are all awesome points. In your education and what you guys do at what was the short name? I liked it. RPI. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I've been saying, real property investments, and I'm sure plenty of people in Canada know you as RPI. How many thousands of members do you have, or what's the size? And then tell us about the US kind of expansion.
So we have established clubs in each one of these areas. And now that we're branched across the globe and we're continuously opening up like these new chapters, because we really want to help more and more people, because we really think there's only one way to do real estate. So the message may be universal, but then we have experts like you who are specific, able to help actually the people in the area so they can implement. Because without the action, you're right, Abel, there's nothing going on. So we have 15 chapters now across the globe. I believe we have, I think, is it 7 in the US, and our branches across Canada, and we opened in Australia as well.
Awesome.
So it's a bit crazy, and everything we're doing now with COVID is online, which is really exciting, because people who sign up with RPI, which is a very low membership cost as well, have access to a global network and all different presenters, like yourself, because I know that you are presenting to our group very, very soon, which
I'm
is
excited.
So exciting. Yes, we'll definitely have to touch on that more. But people can hear the top experts and people like genuine experts like yourself that have proven models and actually have become successful from that. I spend most of my days vetting out models and also making sure our models are still current, as well as trying to keep my finger on the pulse for trends of where we need to pivot on a global perspective. So I am in Ontario right now. We are locked down. I have a stay-at-home order. I am forced to stay at home. So no open houses are allowed in Ontario, and it's going to pull things back. So what do? I spent all morning on the phone with Lucy, with our Nova Scotia specialists and our Calgary specialists. So all of our people here who are also in the lockdown orders or areas that are suffering, from not being able to currently transact because of this, they have their options available. Transaction's key. When your money is not flowing, your money's not making anything. It goes stagnant and actually loses value. So we've helped thousands of people and inspired them to really learn how to invest different. And Lucy is just such a great connector about helping our US clients and introducing us to people like yourself too. And I know we had a great conversation vetting your model as well and your opportunity. And I want to get in on that too, Abel. So
yeah,
Lucy, you can't have all the opportunity. We have to get in on it as well. So
I'm gonna share some. Well,
now you're on the inside track, Monica, I'm sure, right? Abel?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and Lucy, I know you may have a hard stop. And so I want to, before you go, where can, and for both of y'all, obviously, where can our investors, our network, people, if they want to learn more about what you're doing or kind of get involved or, potentially they feel that there's an expert listening that wants to reach out to you guys and connect either as an investor, education, whatever, what's the best place to reach everyone?
So I'll share our web address. It is https:// real property investments with an s.com. So you can come check us out there. Definitely come check out our events page. We have some amazing classes that are going on. We just had Deal or No Deal, what makes a great real estate investment. Monica is actually going to be hosting Getting Started in Real Estate. So depending on where your audience is and if they want to check us out, absolutely come take a look at our page and we can get more info there.
Yeah, we actually have an event on tonight I'm going to do on getting started in real estate. Most of our events are paid events because our members do come for free, but anyone watching this, if you want to send us I think my Facebook's on here, Monica Von Jazyk, or even rp.investments on Instagram, or even an email, info@rpinvestments.ca. I'm very Googleable and easy to find. But we are more than happy to send a free promo code for all your people, Abel, who really want to learn more, because tonight we're going to be just talking about, getting started in investing. And we are really working on helping people know the difference between passive and active investors. And your passive opportunities are obviously something that we help people consider as well. So
yeah, that's awesome. Just tell Monica and Lucy, hey, 5 Talents podcast. That's where I heard you, and we'll see if we can get you onto the VIP line, so to speak. And so that's really cool. Well, before we go, right, is there anything we didn't talk about today that you really wanted to bring some exposure to or highlight, or something you were hoping I asked we just didn't get to? Anything at all? And want to make sure to give you all some time too.
Well, you're such a good podcast host. You probably covered everything, but we will take that moment to make one call. If anyone out there really is interested in learning how to invest different, check out that webpage at realproperty-investments.com. And also notice we are having a free 30-day trial membership, or even book a call. Like, we're very friendly and we're genuinely here to help people. And Abel, I'm so excited to have you as part of our network, because I do pride myself as the founder of Real Property Investments of really building a club with the absolute best experts. There's no iffiness or gray areas. We don't strike up contracts with people and promote their things. We promote where we're growing our money. And that's how we kind of started. And that's how we want to continue to grow. And we truly, honestly believe if you want to learn how to build wealth in real estate investing, and if you want to be connected to the absolute best people in the industry and have access to the best investment advice in the industry, because it's not brain surgery, like you said at the start, there's only one way to do real estate. I really would book a discovery call with Real Property Investments and just at least take that first step to action to learn more.
Yeah, very good. And in your expertise, maybe the last couple questions that I have, what are the biggest reasons that people don't move forward on investments, and the ones that have the most success, what are they? if it's a mental thing or if it's a blog, what are they doing to have success? So, give our investors a little bit of that wisdom you've had from thousands and thousands of people that you've worked with.
The three big obstacles why people don't invest in real estate, although real estate has been proven as the #1 wealth builder time and time again, is time. People do not have enough time. It takes a lot of time. It's not passive unless you're with Abel. In that case, he can help you with the time. It's money. People feel they do not have enough money. We've identified high growth areas of a range of opportunities. We are not OPM, low money, no money, smokes and mirrors. We are the real McCoy. It's all right. We're the real deal. If you're not making enough money, we could also help you with that. A lot of people say, I don't have any money, so I can't invest. People, make more money. We're wealth builders. You can make more money. And lastly, it's knowledge. A confused mind does not act. If you commit to some sort of program, and it doesn't have to be an expensive 6-figure program. We have memberships starting as low as $25 a month.
That's pretty good.
But if you don't pay attention. People say, why aren't you more altruistic, Monika? Why don't you just give it away? We give a lot of stuff away. You can see our YouTube channel. There's a lot of information. But if you're one of these DIYers, you're only going to get so far. A proven system that you invest a little bit amount for will make it more serious for you, because your last question was, what do the successful people do? It's the act. So I don't know of anyone that got rich from having a whole bunch of knowledge and doing a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So it's the action, and you guys don't have to go at it alone. Abel can help you. I can help you. Lucy can help you. We're all very, very active investors. And it's like what Tony Robbins says, it's the 2mm changes. No one's investing the wheel. This isn't Bitcoin or crypto, people. This is just real estate, and it's very easy to understand. And we take all that guesswork out of investing, and we strip you from those excuses. If you're ready to get started, there's no excuse. Just figure out what you can do and get connected to the right people and start building wealth today. It can be that easy.
That's awesome.
Finish it off with our tagline at RPI, which is, where do you want to be in 5 years? Let us help you get there. So definitely be sure to check out our site. If you have any questions, Abel, maybe they can connect through you, but we'd be happy to speak to everyone. And we are, I'm originally Canadian, so is Monika. So she's absolutely right. We are nice and friendly, and we won't.
That's
so
awesome. Thank you very much. I really sincerely appreciate your time, Lucy, Monika, RPI. You guys have been awesome. I'm excited to learn more myself and also work with and partner with you guys. So thank you very much. We'll sign off and say thank you again for listening or watching if you're watching on our Facebook Live. And we appreciate, you all as listeners, as guests, and we'd love to have you at our next show. Again, this is Abel Pacheco at 5 Talents, our podcast. If you got some value from today, we would encourage you, go like our podcast or review and leave us a written review. That would be amazing. And that way, we'll get some algorithm things going. And the more reviews, the more likes, the more excellent guests I can have, like Monika and Lucy from RPI. So really appreciate you. And we'll see you at our next show. Again, thank you very much, Monika. Thanks, Lucy.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 5 Talents Podcast with your host, myself, Abel Pacheco. Each week, we're going to bring you interviews from industry experts and commercial real estate investors who follow their dreams and achieve massive success. Before you leave, let me ask you a few questions. Did you enjoy this episode? Did you learn something valuable? Was your mind stretched to what's possible and what you can achieve? Do you want other experts just like the one you heard today? If you answered yes to any or all of those questions, then please take a moment to subscribe to the 5 Talents Podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and most importantly, leave us a written review. Tell us what you liked, tell us your favorite guest, give us any feedback. I'm excited to learn and improve so you can get a more valuable show. So thank you again for subscribing to the 5 Talents Podcast.